Joining us now, he is an attorney who used to work for the Louisiana Supreme Court. Ken, earlier I spoke with Congressman Carter. If you had an opportunity to listen to that interview, he said that this is only the beginning of what's to come for the Supreme Court. What changes could we possibly see happening this point moving forward? A lot of serious cases could possibly be overturned.
Very serious cases. And thank you, Sharice, for having me tonight. Well, Roe v. Wade, depending on the fact that the court felt like there was a right to privacy that everyone had in their home, in their relationship, and in that right that women and people who gave birth had up until 20 weeks to have an abortion if they decided to. Now, with that going away, and with the court's decision and in saying, well, since it's not a long-held right and it's not in the Constitution, saying that there's nothing that this is based off of, that can call so many other things into question. Cases like Loving v. Virginia or Oberfeld, which dealt with same-sex marriage, or with Lawrence v. Texas, which dealt with how same-sex relationships occur, and with Griswold, which dealt with contraception. So if you're saying that if you're saying that a law or a right will be not held constitutional because there's nothing in the Constitution that says it, and it hasn't been around long enough, then that calls everything else since then. And that's same-sex marriage, interracial marriage, and also the way we live our lives in our relationships.
Well, you know, there are so many different scenarios that we can talk about here when it comes to this case. Can a woman be prosecuted if she were to go to another state to have an abortion? Can a woman be prosecuted if she was sent abortion-inducing pills?
Great questions. Currently, under the scheme that we have with the new law that was just signed by Governor Edwards the other day, it would not criminalize a woman for the abortion or for receiving any type of medication in that sense or going somewhere else. What it does do, it creates a scheme where doctors who do perform those procedures can face up to 1 to 10 years or face up to $100,000 in fines. That's under the current scheme that we have. As we've seen with laws that have come out of places like Texas, where they did outlaw for women to leave Texas and receive an abortion and come back, and then incentivize their citizens to kind of report those people. We can see that happening in another state like Louisiana. Well, we can see people receiving contraception and then creating some type of legal penalty. If you can if you can overturn Roe v. Wade, I don't see where the line stops with that.
So since we have this trigger law, which is already quite restrictive, do you see this trigger law becoming more restrictive, more advanced as we push forward?
Well, it's pretty restrictive at this moment, right? It's outlawing the access to abortion. It's not considering rape or incest. The only way it can become more strict is if it started to outlaw abortion even when a woman's life is at danger. So that's the only way I can see it, or if they increase the fines and make it where the women directly receive some sort of penalty.
Well, we just heard from my colleague, Mike Pearlstein, talking about DA Jason Williams. There's a coalition of prosecutors across America right now, 83 counting so far, who said that they have vowed not to prosecute abortion. But what do you do in those instances? If they say that they're not going to prosecute this case, where does the case go?
Well, we already see in many instances, such as with cannabis or with sex work, very often district attorneys make prosecutorial decisions on which cases they want to proceed with and which cases they don't want to proceed with. And in a sense of cannabis or something else of that sort, when a district attorney does not take that case, there's no one else that can come into it. And for something that occurs in Orleans Parish, it's not like Jefferson Parish being prosecuted or East Baton Rouge or somewhere else. So if a prosecutor decides not to do it, then that's a prerogative. But that's a power that prosecutors have, and that's why prosecutors are sometimes the most powerful people in jurisdictions.
We've seen people, since this decision has been made, say that we're raising money for women to have abortion access, to have assistance if they need it, assistance with travel to those states that do still allow abortions. In announcing doing that, are they now facing any possible prosecution? Are they going against the law at some point?
Well, with this new law that was signed into the act that was signed into law by Governor Edwards, being so new, it's still developing to see what all can be the fallout from providing things such as funding or travel. But that one could say that by doing that, there may be questions of aiding and being a principal in the committing of that crime if you're providing access or providing funds to get an abortion in Louisiana and providing to the providers on behalf of those women.
Yeah, we're also seeing major companies announcing that they're assisting their employees if they want to get abortions in different states as well. Kenn Barnes, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.